definitely was high expectations and high standards from the get-go. Especially, I mean, basketball had just come off the undefeated state championship season. Volleyball was always very competitive, but they hadn't quite made that jump to the state championship final and getting the state championship yet. And I knew that was Fee's big goal. And then with softball, they had just recently come off like their 4-peat state championship. So it was a lot of high intensity practices and high intensity games, and coaches that had very high levels of competitiveness and expectations that you had to be set every single day and had to be met every single day.
You know, Aubrey always just had that it factor to her. She just a natural leader, which is essential in that setting position. Just came naturally to her. She's just a kid that like radiates some positive energy. You know, you look at Aubrey as a high school athlete, like she just stood out. I think she had the size, she had beautiful hands, and then she also had the mind to get the job done from the setting position. And she is somebody who you never have to fire up. Like she comes ready to play, and she comes ready to try her best and to win. So she always had that mentality, and that makes it, you know, easy as a coach to, you know, hand the reins of your offense to somebody who has that kind of mentality.
One of the things in basketball that's not a fun thing to do is defend, and Aubrey embraced that. Her length and her athleticism, you could assign her to the other team's best player, and she loved that part. That's the competitiveness that came out in her. When you have a kid that's sold out and is going to do her best in every scenario, especially on the defensive end where nobody wants to be in the first place, that's a big influencer too. And for her to embrace the difficult, that's another part about her that really made her a great leader.
In a way, it was seamless. I know softball wasn't her sport. Some of the intricate things of it probably weren't high on her list, but back again to the ability and the desire to be around others and just compete. It could have been tiddlywinks, and she would have given it her best and done that. Back again to, and that also builds some grace with coaches. Expectations, we're not going on to college to play softball. We knew that. But again, she's a person that we needed at our level to be successful, and she did all those things.
I was 10 when my club coach, Jenny, walked into the gym and was like, she's going to be a setter and she's going to go far. And I was like, okay, whatever you say. But ever since then, since those words were like spoken, I really kind of bought into it from that age. And I had always loved volleyball. Like volleyball was always my favorite. So it made it easy to put that work in for my favorite sport. But it just naturally came to me. Like growing up, I just knew that volleyball was it from a pretty young age, honestly.
You know, cranking out that first state championship really helped lay the foundation of Fayetteville volleyball for, you know, the generations of players that looked up to her afterwards and continued that legacy of success.
So sophomore and junior season of volleyball, we lost in the state championship both times to Bentonville, both times. My sophomore year state championship was the most devastated that I have ever been. I mean, we battled hard, went 15-13. It was a really tough, just like gut-wrenching game to lose. And it was just hard to do, but it set my sights for the next couple of years. And I knew that feeling, and I knew that I didn't want to feel it again.
You know, it's almost like kicking down the door. You have that first group that gets there and does it and shows the next group how it's done. That takes pressure off us as coaches because now it's just the expectation and the culture. And so I think that to the extent that Aubrey was part of building that culture, you know, she still makes my job easier today because I think it is, you know, part of the tone that continues in our program that you're going to show up, you're going to work hard, you're going to be a good teammate, and we're going to set big goals and strive towards them.
The biggest takeaway was just the person she was. She's just a great person. So, you know, athletics aside, you know, we got her for 2 months and it was great because she just stepped in and did what she needed to do and didn't worry about, you know, where am I going to play? It's just play. So that was pretty cool that she was able to do all of that at such a high level. But I think that was also one of the endearing traits for me about her was just you didn't have to worry about her. She did what she's supposed to do. And I don't know, she was probably in the background taking care of all the others as well. She has that kind of mother henish, you know, feel about her in terms of she can handle it, but she's gonna make sure everybody else is on the same page too. Players
don't realize this in coaching, that we get tired too. We get run down, we get discouraged, we have days that maybe we aren't at our best coaching. Kids like Aubrey can make you have a good day. That's what was amazing about her. It was like you could always count on when you walked out on the court, you're going to get a smile, and you're going to get really good effort, and you're going to get competitiveness, and she was going to do what she could possibly do. But at the same time, that aura around her really shone, and it affected it. She affected everyone around her, head coach included.
I think Aubrey is just golden in terms of like she was able to get us that first state championship just because of her competitive energy and like bringing it and being able to be a leader. And then I think of her just as like a wonderful human being. So I think for me, like she's the kind of kid that you aspire your own kids to grow up to be like. And so I think on the court and off the court, I can't think of a more deserving person to be our first volleyball inductee into the Hall of Greats.